So hi guys, welcome to another session of Market Snapshot. I'm glad you guys are able to join in, say hello. Uh, Yesterday we had an awesome day in the markets, and we all know what we were expecting. Remember, I shared the FOMC news that was going to be a game changer either way, right? And we'll have a look at that and see what really happened. The market went haywire. So this is what we were looking at. So yesterday, remember, I was talking about the interest rate decision, and we said it will be 4.50, right? It had already been priced in. But remember, I said uh, uh, FOMC economic projections, the FOMC statement, and the press conference would now move the market, right? This is now, and I say that Powell will share his outlooks on the inflation, on employment. Remember, the goal of every central bank is price stability, and that means taking care of inflation, and also full employment. At least that's the goal of every central bank, to ensure that everyone is employed. So these are the statements now that led to that whole volatility. Stocks, bonds, every other asset took a hit, right? And why was that? So if we go to some of these projections. So the Fed announced another 25 basis points cut to the federal rate, which is what we had expected, marking the third consecutive reduction this year and bringing borrowing cost to 4.25 or 4.5 range, in line with expectations. So we had expected this, remember, right? So the so-called dot plot indicates that policymakers now anticipate just 2 rate cuts in 2025. Now, this was the shocker, because ideally, the projection from September was that we would have 4 rate cuts. Now, Powell came in and said that they would have 2 rate cuts, totaling 50 basis points, compared to the full percentage points of reduction projected in the previous quarter. So this is what I was saying. They had expected four rate cuts to bring it to 1 percentage, right? Full percentage point. But now, all of a sudden, there was that reduction. And why was that? Because the Fed also revised its GDP growth forecast upward, for 2024 from 2.5 versus 2%. So earlier, in September, the projection was 2%, but now it was 2.5%, meant the economy was growing. Now, you see, based on this, the dollar strengthened. And 2025, the projection was 2%, but now it was 2.1%. 2026, the projection that it will remain steady at 2%. And then there was also the PCE inflation projections, adjusted higher for 2024, 2.4 versus 2.3, and then 2025, 2.5% versus 2.1%. Now, this is interesting, because now, if inflation continues going up, then that could lead to a pause on rate cuts. And based on the data that will be coming in, because this is what Powell said, they'll make decisions based on data, right, that comes in. So if the inflation keeps going up, they have to find a way of bringing it down, and the only way they do that is now raising interest rates. And 2026, 2.1% versus 2%. So on the other hand, unemployment is seen lower this year, 4.2% versus 4.4. So you see, like, literally, the reason why we're able to see this unemployment is lower, it's because the US economy is growing. That means more jobs are being created in the US. So that led to a very strong dollar. And in 2025, the projection is that it will be 4.3% versus the projected 4.4%. Right. So based on these positive data that came in, uh, the dollar strengthened across board. And so, as we'll be looking at our projection, we'll see some of the asset classes that were affected, and let's see how that played out. So for crude oil also, we had analyzed crude oil, and we were looking at a bullish, and then later went to an area of resistance that we'll see, and all of a sudden there was that bearish push. So that was a good move on the dollar yesterday. And so, as traders, once again, always take note. Those who at least didn't know what FOMC is, now you know. All right, looking at your charts, you now know, wow, okay, this is how it plays out during FOMC. Yes, so at times it's messy. At times, at least yesterday we had a clear directional bias, like it was sell, right? Anything that had the dollar as the quote currency, it was a sell, right? And anything with the dollar as the base currency, it was a buy. So USD CHF buy, USD JPY buy, GBP USD sell, gold sell. But there are times the market will spike up, spike down, spike up again, like hitting hitting all sides, but at least yesterday it was a clear like downward push or an upward push. So that's how it played out yesterday, and that's why we have the title post FOMC, what really happened. So today we have something else that's really interesting on Thursday. We also had the BOJ earlier today in the morning, maintained the rates at 2.25%. So we didn't have much of a move. So at 3, we'll be having now the Bank of England announcing the interest rate decision. So the expectation is that they will maintain 4.75% as per the previous number. But also now we'll need to look at the policy summary, what basically a summary as to why they've made this decision. It's just like yesterday, right? The economic projection statement. Now, this one is now what they call the monetary policy summary that will try and explain why they've figured this out, why they've maintained the 4.75%, and also what they're looking at. In case of economic growth, what's the projection? What's the outlook on GDP, what's the outlook on inflation, what's the outlook on unemployment, right? So that, just like we saw yesterday, that statement will really now affect the markets, right? We could see some moves in the market, but in terms of this one, this has already been priced in. What will matter now is this one. Also, bank rate votes, how the officials voted, right? So it will be key to see how that plays out. Now, at 4:30, we'll also have the final GDP. It's projected that it will be 2.8% as per the previous number. So if this number comes up higher than 2.8%, let's say 2.9% or 3%, then we expect the dollar to strengthen again. If this number comes out lower than this, then we expect the dollar to weaken. Okay. Then there's also unemployment claims. Basically, this refers to the number of individuals who filed for unemployment insurance for the first time during the past week, right? So if this number is higher, so we can see from the previous number, the projection is that it has reduced. So that means jobs have been created. So this is a positive, right? This is already, as it is, it's a positive. Investors are quite positive that something has been happening in the US. Jobs have been created, and so guys have not been filing for unemployment insurance, right? So you've not been claiming money from insurance companies. So that means if this number comes out lower than 229, maybe 220, 218, anything lower than this, the dollar will strengthen. It will strengthen because it means the US economy is doing so well that it has created jobs. Okay. If this number comes out lower than this, higher than this, maybe 230, 235, 240, then we should see the weakening of the dollar. Yeah, so that is what we are looking at. Remember, this is our final market snapshot until January 6th. So let's see how the technicals are, and let's see the projections from yesterday and maybe today and tomorrow as we wrap up the week for Christmas holidays and New Year's. So let's go to our charts. So again, we go to our MT5. So when we go to our MT5, we will see yesterday the analysis. We were looking for a buy once again to this high. We maintained this analysis, but then again, this area had a strong resistance, and we can see that this area held until now. FOMC, and we had that bearish push. So at least for take profit 1, but then again take profit 2, that target didn't come to pass. But as you can see, I've held a position on GU for quite some time. I've been having sales on this trade from November. Some of these positions are from November. There's also one from last year, but we have this one from November. Yeah, so that's a good one on that particular setup. So let's remove these analyses. So what are we looking at? Remember, we've just seen that there'll be some GBP interest rate decision at 3. So what would be the probable outlook on this one? We could see GBP USD come back to test these highs. There's a possibility that GBP could come up here. 2690. So we have 2690 and 2618. So I would want to see how GU reacts to those price levels. There's a high possibility that we could see a bullish push on GU to those highs. So going into lower time frames, if I were to do a projection, then I'll be looking at a bullish push on GBP USD. That would be the outlook on GU. Okay, US 30. I remember yesterday I had a buy position on US 30, and I said, once again, look at what I've been saying. I use my moving averages as take profit targets. So my buy was from that order block we had looked at yesterday. Kindly, anyone who doesn't understand, kindly go through my video yesterday right here on YouTube. So I was looking at take profit at this moving average, and we can see price indeed went to that moving average. Then we can see a lot of candles, rejection candles until FOMC, and boom, once again from the moving average, look at that, US 30 took a dip to where we are currently. So that tells you that indeed, for someone, if you know how to use the moving averages pretty well, right, you can easily combine it with the strategy we've been training, and you'll be good to go. So it was a pure shot from the moving average, and US 30 took a dip. So right now, I'll be looking at more of just a minute, close. So if you look at this trade, US 30 has been, the last time Dow Jones was this down like consecutively was in 1974, right? We've had a losing streak of, I think, 10 days, right? So if you consider that move, you'll definitely realize that it's not a surprise that the markets have been taking that push. If I were to look for trades on US 30, once again, I would probably want to see it drop maybe to 41,635, the final part. And then from there, we could see some bulls stepping in on US 30. So a dip to 41,635 is an area that will be of interest on this particular index. However, if I were to look at my take profits, I will consider this moving average. Once again, you guys now have seen how I use my moving averages to book my profits. So there's a high chance that US 30 could drop to 41,972, find some support, and then if this support is weak, it could breach this support and come to 41,635. So that at least that's what I'm looking at on US 30. So currently, maybe we could see a bullish push. In the meantime, we could see a bullish push to maybe this moving average. Before continuation of maybe a bearish push to this low. So I'll be looking for opportunities maybe to short USD Dow Jones from those areas that I've mapped out. So let's go to H4. So either one of these areas, so either that or from that area. So those are probable areas. So take profit one will be on this moving average, and then maybe the next area of support will be 41,635, which is something I've identified from my left, and that is last month's low. So that's an area I want to see Dow Jones come to, last month's low. Last month's low will act as a possible area of support on US 30. What about Euro USD? Once again, we were looking at two take profit targets. I maintain this analysis. So we were looking at this possible area, take profit one, and then we were looking at take profit two, and then a bearish push. So what would have happened is, remember what I've just said, at times that the news can spike up, down, right? So if we didn't have this bearish push, if there was a spike, the market would have gone to this area of resistance before dropping. But now, yesterday we had a clear, at least short on most of these trades, right? Anything that had the dollar as the quote currency was a clear sell, unlike before where you see a buy first and then a sell. Okay, so what's the outlook on Euro USD? I would probably want to see a bullish push. So let's remove everything. So I would consider this area. I'll be looking at this area as a possible area of resistance. So a bullish push from the current market price for almost 50 pips to that area. That's what I'm looking at on Euro USD. Yeah, that bullish push is something that I will be looking at. Audi USD. USD also was operating on the moving average. Once again, look at what I've been saying on the moving averages, acting as resistance. And so maybe if I were to look for opportunities on this one, I'll be looking at a bullish push to that price level. And then USD CHF. So our analysis on USD CHF was we were to look for sells. This is I was timing, I was looking for a spike down before a push up, right? So we can see price came to this area like I had anticipated. Remember, we were looking at this left shoulder. So we were looking for that, and then a drop to I think this was the weekly low, the lowest price on Monday, and then from there, based on this analysis, we were looking at buys, right? So the analysis was right. Look at what happened. Price came to our target area, and sellers have stepped in. Why? Because our take profit target here was also an area. It has dropped almost 40 pips from our area of interest. So you can see once you understand how to analyze and map these things, you can easily project your trades and take your trades with confidence. So personally, I would have only taken this trade if it would have spiked to this area. Right, that's when I would have taken this buy that we did yesterday. So let's look at maybe, let's have a look at USD CHF afresh. So go to the daily, try and understand what has really played out. So going to the daily, we are still anticipating. Let's go to the month. I need to look at the weekly. USD CHF is still a buy. 90.74. So we have, I think, is it 90 something, 91 pips? Yeah, we still have a 91 pips push to play out, right? We need this trade to come to one, there's another block here. Two, there's a moving average. So this area could act as a very strong resistance. And looking at it, it's on the weekly. So that presents a good case. Right, so we could go to that price level. Alternatively, we also have a moving average here on the monthly, 9100, which is a good quarter point. So those are areas that I would probably want to see this trade get to. So why was I looking at that area as an area of resistance? You can see it has come to a moving average once again. You can see the 800 moving average acting as resistance. That's why we had anticipated this trade to get here. And once it gets here, we can see the resistance playing out. So let's look at it on lower time frames to have a better understanding. What would we want to see? Maybe a bearish push before a bullish push comes in. I'd probably want to see a bearish push before now the market decides to, take a buy. So we would want to see how this trade plays out once it comes to this price level. I would map out that moving average as a possible area of support. Either that or this other area, this other block here. Those are the two areas I would probably want to see USD CHF get to before considering a buy. So either 89.61 or 89.34, and then from there I would take a buy on USD CHF. Yeah, those are areas I would be interested in seeing how the market plays out. So if you look at one of my trades here, I had a buy on USD CHF from last month, 25th, 88.54. So we're already up 130 pips. Not bad. We remember I was always looking at the close of this gap. You guys if you've been following me from last week, my main focus was this gap closing, and clearly that gap eventually closed, and we can see that bullish play. So looking at it from now that angle, I would want to see these trades come to this area, and then from there maybe I can look at that bullish push. either 89.34 or 89.61. So what would make me want to enter any one of those trades will depend on the moving averages that present them. Sorry, the candlestick patterns that present themselves here. Right, I want to see a bullish engulfing. I want to see a morning star. I want to see a hammer. I want to see bullish tweezers. If I see any one of those four candlestick patterns, then most likely I'll take a buy on USD CHF, either here or here. Those are the two areas I'm interested in on USD CHF. GJ, GJ, we were looking at buys yesterday. So look at that. That trade played out. But first, we can see the bearish push that came in to the moving average. And then you can see price go to those targets. So GJ is still, let's see from higher time frames where we are. Remember, technical analysis, you look at your left to determine your right. Basically, you want to look at the historical price patterns. So go to the daily to try and identify whether you can see areas of resistance. So I don't see anything on the daily. Maybe on the weekly, monthly. Yeah, so I will still be bullish. However, I wouldn't give the entries on GJ. GJ is a wild horse, for lack of a better word. Yeah, so not unless someone requests for these analyses. The buy, remember, we were still bullish, so the bullish play is still on GJ, but we need to see some sells. There's a possibility GJ could be coming to last month's high. Uh, 199.59. We have that high, which could hold, because you can see it was a strong area. You can see from the previous month, October in November, buyers tested the high of the previous month and sellers stepped in. So this high could hold, but then again, let's see how that plays out. Let me go to H1. Where are we at on H1? Yeah, we could see some minor retracement on GJ. Could see some minor retracements on GJ, but then again, it all depends on this candle where we are currently. Will play a bigger role into it. Yeah, so we're almost there. So maybe 198.25. Let's see how it reacts to in the next 3 pips. 198.25 would be an interesting area on GJ. So overall, it's bullish to 199.59. So this gives you an opportunity to buy it cheaper if it retraces from here. Just gives us an opportunity to buy at a cheaper price. 198.30. Whoa. Well, seems like GJ is going all the way. For that one, we are still bullish to that high, 199.59. USD card, we were looking for sales before going up. So that didn't play out. Once again, just like we've seen, I was anticipating spikes, what I've said, where the market takes a hit to the downside before going up. But yesterday's FOMC was so clear, and you can see how this area had mapped out. You can see how, which was supposed to be an area of resistance, now acted as an area of support during FOMC, and that bullish play came in. So let's remove these. So this is the last analysis for 2025. We wish you happy holidays and see you on 6th January. Remember the classes. Our last class is tomorrow also. Those who've been attending the mentorship classes at 11 to 12 p.m. via Zoom. Our last session is tomorrow until 6th January again also. So let's look at it from M15. So maybe we could see support from here. So maybe a bearish push to that area. That is USD CAD. Gold. So also gold, we were looking for that bullish push to the moving average here and then a sell. But clearly that didn't play out as expected. And so let's remove this one. So if I were to take a trade on gold, I would be looking for buys to this moving average. That would give me maybe an area, either that moving average or there. So I'll be looking at that bullish push on gold before taking a sell or considering any other trade. I'll consider that bullish push. US oil, someone had requested analysis on US oil, and I said we were looking for buys. So you can see at least US oil played out. Look at the interesting part is that when US oil got to our second take profit, right? Because we had mapped out two take profit targets, this one and this one. Look at how sellers stepped in before once again having that bullish push, and then later during FOMC, we can see how price operated on the moving averages to where we are. So that was oil yesterday. And that's it. So I think we've just done an analysis on most of our assets, not unless you have questions. Any questions? So once again, reminder, this is our last session. Greetings as a newbie on this platform. Matters trading stocks. Kindly float me prompts. Okay, I don't understand what you're saying. Float me prompts. Anyone who knows what Dan is saying, please let me know. So, why is trading in December difficult? What do you mean it's difficult, Clavi, Jack? I don't understand what it means by difficult. If you've looked at our analysis, most of our trades, 70% of our trades have gone to script. Mr. Robert, kindly also do the minor currency, please. Thanks. Be specific, which minor currency? Kids, be specific kindly. Morning, Robert. Which EMAs do you use? I use the 50 EMA, the 200, and the 800. Gideon Dungu, morning, Robert. Please help me join the classes, please. I'll be sharing my email, although it is our last class. However, today, if you're a beginner, actually, today we have a class at 8 to 9 p.m. We have a beginner's class, and today you guys will be taught a strategy. So yeah, I'll be sharing my email, and you guys can send me a message. What do you want? We also have notes. If you're interested in notes, we'll send those notes to you. Morning, Robert. What's your overall view on GBP/AUD on higher time frames, and also on those? Does it matter the time frame on which those? Yeah. Let's have a look at GA. This is one of the crosses minor currencies I was requesting for. Let's go to GA. So the secret comes in mapping. You map your trades in higher time frames, and if those trades come to those higher time frames, then wait for confirmation candles. Wait for confirmation candles and see how the market will play out. So I see GU has already pushed up a few pips. We're still waiting for it to get there. Let's see. Let's see US30. And the US30 not yet. What about Euro USD? It's yet to come to this area. So anyway, GA. Do I have it here? Yep. So I need to go to higher time frames to try and understand where we are. So 2018, wow. So GU has already GA is probably going to these highs of 2020 during COVID. Interesting. So if I were to look for opportunities on GA, I'll be bullish long term. Long term, it screams buy. So the moving average here has held fort. So I'll be looking for buys to 22.0362. That's an area where there's a possible resistance on GA. Yeah. So maybe if price comes here, if price comes to that high, the Asian high, we could probably see some kidogo reversal. But overall, price needs to go to 2.0362. Any other question? What time frame do you use do you use moving averages as take profit, Jackie? It all depends. Huh? If I'm looking at swing positions, I'll probably look at H1, H4. If I'm looking at scalps, I don't do scalps, but if you're looking for scalps, then M5 will do the trick. If you're a day trader, then you're looking at M15 H1 also, right? So swing is H4. That's where we probably look at your take profit targets based on the moving averages. Any other question? Gold. We've just looked at gold, Jasan, and we are looking for buys. Kindly go through the analysis. We've already handled this. So we were saying we are looking for these buys. We want gold to go to this high. Seems like there's a bit of some support on the moving average. So this is what I was saying. Jackie, look at that. One of the areas I'm looking at as a take profit is there's a moving average. There's a moving average at the top. So gold could probably get here. Next question. Are you the one who does the mentorship? No, I can't. Right now I'm doing snapshots, so there's someone else doing it. My colleague from Tanzania, Prudence, is the one handling the 11 to 12. What happens when the interest rates are cut, and why did the US react the way it did yesterday? Alex Mwenda, I've explained that towards the start. Due to time, kindly go through it. So when there's an interested, when there's interest, when the interest rate is cut, is not hiked. When there's an interest rate cut, what happens is that the dollar weakens. However, in our case yesterday, there was that cut, but what happened, like I had said yesterday, was the FOMC statement that will come in. What is Powell looking at? And we've seen that they project to do 2 rate cuts next year against expectation. In September, they had said they will do 4 of them. And then they also said that they expect that there'll be an increase in inflation, there will be an increase in employment, so that means unemployment numbers will come down. Then they also say the GDP will go down. All those, uh, bring out the point that the US economy will be quite strong. And so if that's the case, then that's why the dollar was bullish. Please clarify. Mentorship class? No. Mentorship class is not at 8. 8 p.m. is beginners class. CAD JPY. Let's look at CAD JPY. Next year, those who are in Eldoret, Eldoret will be the first town to visit. 24th of January, we are coming for the free master classes. Those who do not understand what the masterclass sessions are, kindly go through the FX Pesa social media handles: TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, and IG. Yeah, yesterday the Mombasa masterclass video was posted, so kindly have a look at that. I don't know whether we had guys from Mombasa who are here. So CAD JPY, go to higher time frames. If I had to use purely moving averages, I would say CAD JPY is coming here. 109.40. There's also another block there. 109.40 is probably an area where CAD JPY is coming to. Any other question? I mean, I've seen traders trading December is different. I've seen traders saying, I'm assuming it's saying, December is difficult because it's the last quarter. Is this true? It all depends on your strategy, not for everyone. Okay, so for those who are interested in the class, those who are interested in the mentorship class, that is 11 to 12 p.m., although it has ended today until 6th January. However, for notes, let me share my email. Just send me an email and I'll send you these. Send me an email to robert.mbogo@fxpesa.com and I'll share the notes and also I'll share the notes and also a link to those sessions when we resume next year. 6th Monday. So we'll start off on Monday, 10 to 11. 11 to 12 p.m. and then we'll have a beginners class 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So if your new year goal is, or you know someone whose new year goal is to learn how to trade, then you might want to share that link with them. That's it. Good morning, Robert. Thanks for the good work you're doing. The mentorship class at 11 a.m. has been massive. We learned risk management. Awesome, Shakib. Awesome. I'm glad you did. That's our way of supporting you guys as a responsible broker to make sure that you guys have the right skills. Mwacha kukimbilia pesa, right? Trading is not a get rich quick scheme. It's a get rich slow. If you're consistent, if you're persistent, if you're passionate about it. What session is best to trade JPY pairs? Asian session, Tokyo session, yeah? Yenye mnaitaga Tokyo session. But whichever session, JPY pairs will move. US and Tokyo session. Tokyo session is because Japanese, they love trading their yen. So that's why it will move most of the times at night. But anywhere from Tokyo, London, New York, JPY pairs will definitely move. That's it, I think. Any other question? Is there a question I've not handled? Kuna mtu sijajibu swali yake? Sitaki kwenda New Year na mtu akisema roba kujibu swali yangu. USD JPY, haven't we looked at USD JPY? Have we? No, we've not. Okay. So let's look at USD JPY as we call it a day. Oh, no. USD JPY. Yeah, USD JPY is most probably going to 157.36. 157.36. Before we see some sells. So GU, we said is going here. So let's see whether we already, by the time, remember we are on M15. So I started this analysis here. GU was here. So we already up almost 40 pips, right? from the time I started this analysis on GU. So we're already up 40 pips and inasonga tu. US 30 hii imekataa kusonga. Euro USD, we said it's coming here, so you can't compare Euro USD and GU, so Euro USD is sluggish. AU kidogo nayo inafanya zake, but we anticipate it to get there. And then USD CHF, we were looking for sells. Let's see whether it has played out. Ndio hii. This is, so by the time we were doing this analysis, it was here. It has dropped almost 20 pips. 20 or 15, hiyo kitu kama hiyo inakuja tu hapo. GJ tumesema inaenda 199.59, almost 100 pips from now. USD card tulianza kusell kuanzia hapa, so we can see it's already dropped a few pips, inakuja hapa. Gold, it's going there. Yeah, GA tumesema inaenda bullish, GJ tumesema it's bullish. USD JPY bullish. That's it. That's how we wrap up the year. Thank you guys for attending. It's been awesome having these sessions with you. Remember, next year we join the masterclass tours. We are coming to a town near you. So please let us know. Kama uko pale unasema like, hey, by the way, you guys come this place, just let us know. Let us know. This year we were able to visit Kisumu, and then Nairobi, and then Meru, Nakuru, and finally Mombasa. So for all those videos, kindly go through the FX Pesa social media handles, Facebook, IG, TikTok. Have a look at the LinkedIn, have a look at those videos, and I'm sure you'll get to learn a thing or two. And next year, kindly attend as you learn so that you're able to trade effectively. Otherwise, bye-bye. Cheers. See you next year. Merry Christmas and happy be bullish. Let me say bullish 2025. Awesome.